So guys, trade breakout for the day. Sorry there's no cam, but it's just been bugging and I'm not home right now, so this will have to do for the day. But honestly, coming to the week, I was pretty bearish because of this new week opening gap that got produced, and also the fact that how we were trading uh, on this the entirety of last week. So we were kind of in consolidation here, and we were just holding this volume imbalance. So then I was like, either we are rangy or we distribute finally lower. And that's exactly what we got. So you can see we tapped into new week opening gap off of Sunday open, broke down, confirming my bearish bias, but then I didn't see what happened during overnight, but we retraced back up during overnight. All I did was tap into this 15-minute fair value gap, also tapped into new week opening gap one more time because we are in an overall 4-hour BPR and 4-hour CB. So coming in, tapped in. Also, the level I was looking at was this CE level. And if you guys don't know, if we are extremely bearish, we want to keep, just like how we use institutional order flow integers, we want to use this org as a kind of like a fair value gap in a sense. Not really, but in a sense that we want to use quadrants. So we held the C level, showing me bearishness. And honestly, I was just looking for an entry here off of market open, and I was waiting for this 1 minute on ES to get inversed because it was the lagging asset. So we got the inversion, but look at the inversion. That's like, you should not be entering off an inversion like that, because where would your stop be? Your stop would be like a 200, like a 100-point stop, 68-point stop, which makes no sense. So you wait for the 950 macro, and as like these were my draws, and if I front ran this, it would have been went straight to TP. But on a Monday, I was just a bit little cautious, especially since there was no news. So I waited for 950 macro. We got the CE tap of this 5-minute here, and also this overall 1-minute CB here. And I was waiting for an inversion just to get the entry, but we never did. We did, but it was just super choppy, so I faded that. And I did take a trade in this 10:05 time slot. So got break even stop there. And I did take a stab at longs, which was probably horrible because it was a partial long. So I only went in with half size, which makes no sense because if I went in with half size, I shouldn't have even taken the trade, you know? And overall order flow was very bearish, but I was like, what if we just take out this low resistance liquidity first before we drop down? But yep, got stopped out here for $100. And then coming into the 1030 macro again, this was the 1030 macro. We mitigated this 1-minute fair value gap, broke down. I honestly wanted to get in at the 30-second, but I was like, you know what? Let's just fade it until 1050 macro and see if we can finally get continuations of that AM open move. So coming in to the 1050 macro, I still had this 1-minute fair value gap marked down. We perfectly ticked into it, and then we got the inversion fair value gap. We got the tap, broke down, mitigated this fair value gap, but mitigated only until this order block right here. So the last up close candle, we held CE level, broke down. One more time, that was my entry. And then I had my stops here. Why is that a safe stop? It's because this downwards candle mitigated, this up close candle mitigated this order block. So then now we can use this as a mitigation block. So now this is a safe stop. And as you can see, we ticked into it, bodies stayed below, and displaced down. And then honestly, you just want to see straight, you want to see just a gap get produced, because that is honestly the only thing that was holding price up. This 15-minute fair value gap was holding price up, and if we flush through this level, Friday lows were honestly very free. But I got out after we tapped into this 15-minute order block, So, yep, 30-second inversion, targeting down here. And yep, that's everything for the day. I will see you guys again. Oh, I forgot to mention that the TP here, this was 12 a.m. So this was midnight open. And the reason why I was a little skeptical of this move was because we bounced off of midnight open and we're inversing. So I was like a little skeptical. But honestly, taking this institutional order flow entry right here wouldn't have been horrible either. But waiting for the 1050 macro was very clean. But I think that's everything for the day. Some lessons that I learned was just making sure to not just fade trades that I know. Like subconsciously, I knew this was a bad trade, but I still took in with half size, which makes no sense again. But yeah, cutting out this would have made my day probably like a $600 day. But regardless, very happy with the results. I'm still one more trading day off from securing a payout. And yeah, hope everyone took good trades today. I will see you guys again on Tuesday. Peace.